Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzamos, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking impasse free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. It's most likely going to rain, so pray for us, guys. I didn't bring my umbrella with me today. Now, somebody wanted me to talk about the sleeping giants. It's quite a very interesting subject when you're talking about the sleeping giants. By the sleeping giants, what we're simply trying to say here is simply unawakened souls. These are the individuals who do not know who they are. I have, at one point in my life, been a sleeping giant. So my job now is to break empaths free by awakening you to the truth, especially if you're talking about narcissistic abuse. I awaken you to the truth so that you can be able to get up on your feet and do exactly what it is you came here to do. That's my mission. So I was at one point a sleeping giant, or rather, an awakened soul. Now, quite a while ago, we're talking about 3+ years ago, I left the narcissist. That was the very beginning of my awakening. I left the narcissist because I'd awakened to the truth that I was facing abuse. I was dealing with a completely destructive individual, so I had to get out. I awakened from that, I got away. And of course, over the years, I've continued to educate myself on narcissistic abuse, but the difference with other people is that for me, I try to attach the spiritual part of it so that you guys understand that it's not only the physical being you're seeing in front of you, there's a spiritual attachment to this whole thing. Now, I met a greater narcissist in that time. And I remember something happened very, very strange and weird. The greater narcissist used to tell me things like, you don't know who you are, you know? That is one of the questions that baffled me. The greater narcissist will tell me things like, you do not know who you are. I wish you knew who you are. Your life will never be the same. Now, this greater narcissist, I've told you guys, these people, greater narcissists are self-aware narcissists. So they have at some point awakened to their narcissism. And of course, they have attached some other spiritual practice on their narcissism. So these are the guys who will sometimes abuse you consciously. They know what they are doing. They pretty know what they are doing because they already know they are self-aware that they're narcissist. So whatever they are doing, they're doing it consciously. So I remember that hearing that question so many times. And then I asked the greater narcissist that what makes you believe that I do not know who I am? So in those days I'd awakened, but I'd still not like fully awakened to my true authenticity, to the truth of who I really am. But this greater narcissist knew who I was. Is what I've told you sometime in my videos, ladies and gentlemen. These people, they do know who you are. You are the only person that doesn't know who you are. They know you have got this spirit within you. Very, very powerful, you know. It is very few people have got that spirit within them. So these individuals usually, they do know who you are even sometime before you know yourself. Now, of course, I had that question. I had that statement like 3-4 times during that entanglement. It was a very short entanglement, like you guys already know. And then eventually, I awakened to the truth that, oh, I was dealing with a narcissist. Eventually, I got away and I went out there to get some information about what was that statement, because me, I'm a person who is very curious. I wanted to know, what did this particular individual mean by you do not know who you are? Why did they think that I did not know who I am? So that's when I started to go into research to discover more things about myself. And that is when I awakened to the truth that actually I am an empath. So sometimes God is going to use the people that you do not expect actually to wake you up. So I remember doing a video some couple of years ago, and I told you guys this whole experience of abuse, it is a blessing in disguise in itself. So things actually did not happen by coincidence. There was some form of a divine intervention for you to meet these particular individuals, because at some point in time, those individuals have woken you up to a degree you've never seen before. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. To awaken a sleeping giant, it requires a lot of pressure. I'll repeat this one more time. To awaken a sleeping giant, it requires a certain degree of pressure. Let me tell you something. The reason why they call you sleeping giants is because these people know the very moment your bulbs have gone on and you have awakened to your truth, to your true authenticity, to the truth of who you really are, they know that they cannot handle you. So this is the reason as to why you've seen a lot of these narcissists, the first thing they do when they get entangled with you, they know on a very deep level, for some reason they know this person, they know that there is something within you that they cannot really figure out, because remember that you are an empath. And on the contrary, these individuals, they are very toxic, even sometimes demonic. And usually they feel this thing on a spiritual level, that there is something that is within you. They cannot really put a finger on it. It's the reason as to why they're actually drawn to you, because they know should they simply be around your energy, their lives are going to take off, because you have got some abilities and some gifts within you that they can use for their own advantage. It's the reason as to why they have usually, from the very beginning, they have put you to sleep. So that is the secret between the narcissist and the empath encounter. Usually, empaths, I do what I do because having gone through abuse for so many years, for a very big chunk of my life in family and in relationships, and even sometimes friends, I have come to believe that there is other ways that people can be that there is other ways that can be used to awaken somebody without having to go through narcissistic abuse. So there is ways that a person can awaken. So for the most of us who have gone through those experiences, I think it has been for a purpose, because at some point we are now helping you to actually realize yourself, self-realization, and awaken to understand your soul and to understand who you are in this dimension, to understand really who exactly are you on a very spiritual level. So we try to make it easier for you to be able to awaken. Me personally, when I walk around, when I'm moving about, and I meet a particular individual, I can straight away read their energy. So I will usually know what they're all about. I will know. And this is not something that is written on their face, but as a person who is an empath, I can read energy. I will simply know the soul that is in that individual. So if an individual is toxic, or if they're harboring so many different kinds of spirits, I will straight away tell. Sometime on first sight, it can sometimes happen on the second sight, but in whichever way, I'll understand who they are and I will make my decision straight away. So sleeping giants, they are individuals who have come into this planet. And two things have happened. When you came into this planet as a chosen one, as a person on a mission, as a person on an appointment, on an assignment, if people knew at an early age who you are, let's talk about these families. A lot of you guys who have been the black sheep. If the world around you, your friends, I don't know, your family members, if they really knew who you are, let me tell you something. Life was going to be very difficult for you, because in that moment when they knew what you have got within you, it was going to be very, very difficult for you to survive. Now you can imagine, even without people having the confirmation of who you are, they have that feeling inside of them, of course, that second thought, that other sense that there is something different about this individual. If they know in that point, in your early stages in life, if they know who you are, your parents, let me tell you something, if you're the black sheep, you will not be here today. it required God could have used certain individuals actually and certain life experiences, first of all, to switch off your consciousness. Because you know, if you're a conscious person, you can imagine the things I'm talking about today. I'm already 40 plus years. If I was talking about these same things many years ago, you can imagine what kind of audience I will be having and what people will really think about me. If even until this moment, people are actually calling me crazy because I talk about things they do not understand. What do you think would have happened so many years ago if I was conscious and doing the things I'm doing today? What could have happened in that time? So there is a likeliness, there's a very big chance that actually you could have been turned off and switched off. Your consciousness was switched off for a reason. Your consciousness was switched off for your own protection. So you could experience life, and then you would allow yourself and give yourself time to evolve. Because I've told you guys, evolution is a very slow process. It takes a lot of time to evolve. You know what I mean? The giant within you is in there. It's in there. We're talking about your soul. But the thing is, your consciousness is turned off, so you're sleeping. In other words, you're a sleeping giant. And sometimes you'll see there can also be moments when, depending on how you have lived your life as an individual, there have been different circumstances that actually God has created for you along your path. And those different circumstances wouldn't allow you to fully participate and to fully be your authentic self. Because your authentic selves, ladies and gentlemen, it scares a lot of people. Authenticity, we're talking about a person who is very tuned into their higher selves. That person is going to do things authentically, unapologetically. Those guys, they're warriors. That's why sometimes you've heard the phrase, people have been talking about the awakened rebels. So those are individuals, they do not give a damn thing. Those are individuals who do not give a damn thing about what is happening around them. They are simply going to stand in their authenticity and they're going to speak about the truth, or they're going to do everything that is actually aligned with their souls. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about sleeping giants, you have come here with an anointing, chosen ones. You have been anointed by God. You have been anointed by the divine. So everything you see happening around you, it is very carefully orchestrated by the divine. You may sometimes think that God has abandoned you. You know, life is very, very hard. Life is very difficult. It is just because you have not yet tapped into your consciousness. That's the reason why you see the life is going the way it should go. Because at some point in time, there has got to be an awakening, so that now you can awaken to your true, authentic self, to your true divine nature, and do those things that you came here to do. You know what I mean? So you are simply sleeping. Life is going the way it is because your time hasn't yet come for you to awaken. I've told you guys. So when I left the greater narcissist, I remember I started learning about myself. And in those days, I remember those next weeks, the next few weeks and months, I discovered my purpose. So I was like, okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to break empaths free. So in those days, I used to be stalked in that time. The greater narcissist used to stalk me. The reason why those individuals, they were stalking me, that particular individual was stalking me, they wanted to find out what is this particular individual doing with himself. So they used to come. The greater narcissist formed a fake profile on whatever on YouTube, and came and started stalking me. I knew that this was the greater narcissist stalking me. They use different names to do that, and of course, I do what I do best. I knew them and I blocked them straight away. And from that point forth was when they realized that this person has awakened. They are fully awakened. They have understood and remembered who they are. That's when they took off. Have you asked yourself a question as to why, when you're still asleep, you're unawakened? Have you asked yourself a question as to why people like to be around you? You know, Everybody wants to be around you. You have a lot of girlfriends, you have boyfriends, you're going on relationships, dates, all your family members are all over you and everything like that. But the very moment you're awakened, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is going to disappear. Have you asked yourself a question for your awakened souls? And I would like to know that in the comment section below. Have you asked yourself a question as to why life turns out like that, whereby you are unawakened? At one point in time, you were unawakened. You were operating on a low frequency. You had so many friends around you. Everybody wanted to be your friend. You could go and ask the girls for a date, they will come with you. The women, they would come with you. The very moment your bulbs turned on and you remembered who you were, everybody disappeared. Have you asked yourself a question as to why life is actually like that? That is because the individuals you've been dealing with at a certain point in time, they feel a very big shift in your energy. So you step into this energy that is very unfamiliar to them. Many of them even hardly realize that you have awakened. So sometimes that's why you see a lot of these times people, they'll come around and say you're crazy. Have you heard about Denzo? What is Denzo saying? Denzo is crazy. Denzo maybe needs help. You should go to a hospital and get help. I used to hear a lot of those things. But I personally knew that there was nothing wrong with me. I was saying is just because I was stepping out of an old paradigm and stepping into a new paradigm, which would actually connect me much more higher to my higher self. And I'd be able actually to do those things I came here to do. And those things were not resonating with low vibrational people. So all the people that you used to know, they will disappear. So when we're talking about sleeping giants, these are individuals who have got a special anointing from the universe, a special anointing from God. Those individuals, they are sleeping because they are still going through real life experiences to help them on their part of evolution. So I've told you guys, like I've said, evolution is a very, very difficult process. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of pressure to awaken a sleeping giant. That's the reason as to why many of us, at a certain degree in time, we've been asleep all this time. So actually, we did not even know what was going on or what it is we had to do in this lifetime until that moment that moment of awakening whereby we were able to wake up and snap and understand what it is we came here to do. Like I've said, for the most of us who have gone through abuse, it has been the worst moments of our lives. We have experienced very, very difficult, extreme. You guys have been following my videos for over a very good number of years. You know where I'm coming from when I'm talking about things in my videos. But I believe, in my own understanding, at this point of awakening, I now believe that there is other ways to wake up people than going through abuse. Yes, I will wake up people. So I will validate the victims of abuse. I will validate them because I will show them that actually what they are going through, we have already been there. So I will usually validate them. And even sometimes I might awaken some of them. But I believe that other unawakened souls, they have got a chance to awaken without having to go through abuse. There has to go to be other ways to wake up than going through narcissistic abuse. The worst experience anybody will ever face in their entire lives is going through narcissistic abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, I will guarantee you this 100%. So if you see these algorithms forwarding this information, maybe sometime you're out there doing your own thing, and then these videos pop up on your page or things like that. They just pop up all of a sudden. That means that the universe has aligned you with my energy. Me and you were aligned because you do not meet these kind of videos everywhere. Even sometimes when you meet them, you even sometimes scroll through because they do not resonate with your soul and they are not at your frequency. So it is a few people, anointed people, a few selected few. There's just a selected few of individuals who are able to understand these individuals and what we're talking about. You know what I mean? So sleeping giants, something I want to let you guys know. You have been sleeping your entire lives because God has been hiding you on purpose. God will hide you in those families. It will be very difficult, but you always notice that there's a supernatural presence around you. There is things that are happening around you. No matter what you're going through, you happen to get over it. Somewhere, somehow, you win. You fall down, you got back up. You fall down again, you got back up. And people usually didn't understand what was the force behind you. How were you able to do these things? What you've always been doing along your journey. That is because your time to awaken hadn't yet reached. So it hadn't yet arrived. There was a certain point in time whereby you would actually come to that sense of awakening and you'll be able to snap and remember who you are. But when I'm talking about who you are, I'm talking about a person who has been anointed. You are a chosen one. You were supposed to sleep at some point in time. It was for your own protection. You were supposed to sleep for your own protection. Your awakening only comes at a time where you have actually learned all the lessons you need to learn about this lifetime. And that is how you're going to be able to awaken and step into that version of you and do the things that you came here to do and live that life that you came here to live. That's what I mean by sleeping giant. You are simply the unawakened soul. The awakened giants, they are the ones who have discovered who they are. They finally remembered who they are. I've done so many videos about that recently. And they're doing those things that they came here to do because the moment you snap, you're going to see things you're going to start seeing these paths opening up for you. You're going to be aligned with your purpose because everybody on this planet has got a purpose. You have got something you came here to do. You know, it could have been something that is inside your DNA. You came here to do. And when those gifts have been activated, they are normally activated during your awakening. That's when you start to see a lot of these things opening up, remembering things, following certain paths and following certain directions. It's for a purpose because the universe is aligning you to your divine purpose. So most of the times, which I will do a video as well, the stages of awakening. An awakened sleeping giant, there are some processes that you will go through before you're aligned fully with your purpose. I'll do a full video on that very soon. When you awaken, you remember, and you will finally understand the reason as to why you have been sleeping all this entire time. Everything is going to come back to you, ladies and gentlemen. I can guarantee you this 110%. So I would like to know about this video. What do you think about this video, ladies and gentlemen? In the comment section below. You can always book a session with me, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to. It can be about spirituality. It can be about narcissistic abuse. It can be about self-development and growth. You will find the email in the description below. If you would like to donate or support my channel, find everything you need in the description section, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.